Alright, today I'm going to do an overview of just the basics of a point and shoot by Canon. If you've bought a Canon point and shoot camera in the past 8-10 years, they're all pretty much the same as far as how they're laid out. Might be some little subtle differences, but they're all pretty close to the same. The one I've got right here is the PowerShot A4000 IS HD. So, you turn your camera on and you look at the back LCD monitor, and you've got auto here. Auto, this is point and shoot, so you've got it in auto, so everything is auto. So it will totally adjust anything in your camera to try to guess and make the best shot possible for you. So this is great. That's why you bought the camera. It's a point and shoot, so you don't have to fiddle around with a bunch of settings. So you might find sometimes using auto, it's not giving you the image that you're looking for. So all these little point and shoots have a different setting in here. On this one, you just hit up where it says auto, just hit and it will say program. This is where you can do a lot of different things to make your pictures better. This is where you go, you hit your function set and it goes into different modes. Some of the older ones have a dial up here to switch it to, but they'll have similar little modes here. There's a portrait mode, as you can see, in a low light. So what these will do is they'll let your camera know what you're exactly trying to do, because if you have it in auto mode, it doesn't really know. It's just trying to do the best shot. So if you're in low light, it might take a shot and your image might come out blurry because the camera's just trying to take the best shot, so it's not lowering your ISO, which is your sensitivity to light on the actual chip that's inside your camera here. So if you switch to this, it knows you're trying to shoot this in low light, and there might be stuff moving around, so it will adjust your ISO, the sensitivity up a little bit, so you could get a shot where it's not all blurry. And then some of the other settings, some of the other settings in there, some of them have different types of digital, like special filter type, just stuff for creative miniature effect. This will have blurred at the top and the bottom and make everything look what's called a tilt shift effect, kind of make it look like a miniature model. And then of course some of them have black and white, and then super vivid, make all the colors just kind of shoot out at you. Okay, and the poster effect and snow, and this will adjust your contrast in your shot to where it's snowy, so everything isn't overblown. Fireworks, vivid at night, and it will be longer shutter speed. So anytime you're using these cameras on a long shutter speed, I recommend a tripod. You can get one of those mounted tripods for just little tabletops that go really good with the point and shoot cameras. So this is all under the program feature. But if you go okay, so you've got your program feature. So down here on the side, you could adjust some different things inside your program. Program lets you adjust several different settings individually. So right here, I've got this right here, and you see these numbers on the bottom. This is your light meter, so I've got it marked to 1/3 of a stop under. So this would be the correct exposure, what the camera sees. So if maybe you're taking a shot, and this would be a good place to adjust this. So you're taking a shot and somebody with the sun behind them, and you take the shot and the sun's behind them, so the camera's trying to adjust what it thinks is the right exposure, but their faces will be black or dark because the sun is behind them. So you could go ahead in here and adjust it, and maybe take it up a full stop, and that will make their faces stand out, and then it won't be so shadowed. Or you could use the flash maybe as a fill-in, but that's another way to get around it if you don't want to use a flash. Other settings in here is the ISO. This is the sensitivity what I was talking about. It's normally on auto, but you can adjust it accordingly. 1600 is the highest. That's what it's going to be the most sensitive to light, so you use that in very low light. But remember, when you adjust these, if you get up here into this number, that is for low light. So what it's going to do is bring a lot of noise or out on your pictures. So you'll see a little bit of just kind of graininess in your pictures if you go up to that. But if it's really dark, that's what you want it to be on, just so you could get that shot. Another next setting down here is your white balance. And but Canon's really good about this. 99% of the time they get your auto white balance and they get it bright in camera. But sometimes you'll have a lighting situation where you might have some fluorescent lights and then a different some daylight coming in and whatever, several different ones. You might take the shot and it looks a little orange, so you could go through here and you can notice this will change the color here in your shot. So various different lighting situations. So you could adjust that in here. You can even do your a custom setting if you want. So that's your white balance. Most of the time I leave this on auto unless, like I said, 99% of the time it's right, but occasionally it does get off and I'll switch it to this. And here we have your kind of burst mode. So normally you take a shot, you hold it down and it focuses and then it snaps. That's for a single shot. If you're doing maybe some sports or something, your kid's playing soccer, you would want to switch it over this mode and it will take shots. Let's leave it on this and I'll show you. Well, it's kind of slow, but it will take a lot more shots at once. So there's that, and then we have our different timers. If you want to put a self timer, like I said, I recommend one of those little tabletop tripods for this. You can set it on your timer wherever you want, 2 10 seconds. Your camera might be a little bit different, but typically they have the 2 and 10 seconds. This is your image here. L is for the top image. This camera is 16 megapixels is its highest image. You could go down, and then for smaller images, maybe you're shooting something that you're going to put on an internet website or something, and the highest megapixel might be around this size, so you could go down to here if you want. This camera also has a pretty neat little widescreen, so it does a little widescreen shot if you want to switch into that mode. And then oops. And then you got down here at the bottom, this is for doing your movies. If you have a newer one that actually shoots movies, they might have the high def feature in there. So that's 1280 is high def, and then you've got your just standard def mode. So those are all the features that sometimes it might be a dial up here up top, or it might be here under auto, or under the program feature if you got the buttons. Like I said, all of them are pretty much the same as far as layout is concerned. Well, the button layout might be different, but all the menus here are pretty much the same. And I would totally recommend these Canon cameras. Well, point and shoots, I've had them for years. I've had other ones and other different name brands of point and shoots, and I always end up going back to the Canon, just because there's all the settings you got in here. Just because they're, it seems like they last a lot longer, and plus the image quality seems a little bit better. So there's just a quick overview of what you'll get as far as in the menus of your Canon point and shoot camera if you go out and get one. Like I said, totally recommend it. I've got other videos, so check them out. I'm going to do another video on how to actually go out and shoot with this and get some really neat shots. But go ahead and subscribe, and thanks for watching.